All right, so let's get into it. Beginning with Dricus Du Plessis versus Khamzat. The majority of it will be on this. There'll be a few others, but uh, Zhang Zhou, I believe it says, man, it was a long time. I subscribed to your channel around Khamzat's debut at Fight Island. Man, that's a long time ago, 2019 roughly. I hope we can all realize our positive goals just as Khamzat was able to. Amazing how time separates winners from losers. Wish everyone on here the best. Just a great comment. It's true. If we could all realize our goals like he set out to do. And you think about what he went through with the during the pandemic, and he had to pull out of a fight there. He got really sick. He tried to train through being sick, which made it worse for obvious reasons. But eventually, uh, at the end of the day, he pulled through, and then he didn't make weight against Diaz, and everybody's on him. Then he had to pull out of Robert Whittaker when he went to the hospital. Had the two close fights against Usman and Burns, so he went through some trials for sure. But at the end of the day, became the champ. MG says, yes, you did tell them all years ago, brother. And I appreciate the backup now, for sure, because for 6 years we had some backup, but it started to fade towards the end, but we never gave up. At Days says, incredible list. Yeah, talking about the dude list. It is incredible, but it's up to interpretation, right? Think about your dude list and how it would change. Not people get stuck on pound for pound. How could you put this guy ahead of this guy? Listen, it's my favorite fighters combined with forward-thinking future outlook, which is up to interpretation. King Terzi, let's go. Talking about Khamzat, yes sir. One of the loyal ones from day one as well. Matthew Lloyd, Khamzat does just enough to win, but never a true warrior. So here's the storyline now for Khamzat. So this is what people are going to be saying, right? Oh, he laid on Dricus. This man treated Dricus like a teddy bear, bro. Going into the fight, oh, he's not going to be able to do that to Dricus. Not only did he do it to Dricus, he didn't even finish him, right? He just did it for 25 straight minutes. Oh, he doesn't have a gas tank. He's going to get tired by round 3. Oh, if it goes 5, Dricus has 99% chance to win. Come on, man. Everybody's tripping. We all knew what was going to happen, but maybe you didn't. Traveler, did you guys notice how Ref Marc Goddard tried helping DDP? When he got them up, Khamzat had good position. Plus, he was busy there. Was no reason for him to get them up. Because the thing is Marc Goddard's in there, and he's like, the people want to see a fight, and Khamzat is just absolutely dominating this thing. Fans are beginning to boo. Dricus fans, not Khamzat fans, are like, lay on him for 25 minutes. We're already 21 minutes into the fight. We don't want to risk it. But Marc Goddard stands him up with like 2 minutes left, and if something would have happened there, the MMA world would have went crazy on both sides. So I'm glad that Khamzat finished that fight, because that was terrible to stand him up. Khamzat was continually pounding away. He had him in a crucifix. He had the back. He was kneeing. He was punching from the side. I mean, it's just, every 3 seconds he was landing something. And it's like, you're going to stand him up? I mean, it's just crazy. That's like, it's just crazy. Matthew Lloyd back. Khamzat good at hugging, safe, but not dangerous. See, and you're just missing the whole thing. If you don't think that's dangerous, imagine most of us in a fight, including myself, which, listen, I'm not fighting anybody. But I'm just saying, if I had my back against the wall and I had to defend myself, I'm a good striker, okay? I've been in the gym hitting the bag over the years, not lately, but I know I can throw strikes. But if someone just goes in for a football tackle and takes me down, I have no idea what I'm doing on the ground. That's the majority of us. Have no clue. So to say Khamzat is not dangerous, if I get stuck fighting a guy in the street because my back is against the wall, he's threatening me, and he comes on the attack, and I land a couple jabs or something, or a big right, and then he just takes me down and is on top of me like in a crucifix or full mount, dude, that's more dangerous than getting hit with a few punches. I feel like I have a chance in that situation, but you take me down, that's dangerous to me. I don't know what you're thinking. Mark says, it seemed like you were rooting for Jeff Neal, or you're just a really good, really cold analyst, laugh out loud. All jokes aside, you're doing a great job. Keep it up. And I think, was I rooting for Jeff Neal? I think we had Jeff Neal to win, and he landed that spinning back elbow or fist or whatever it was. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I was definitely rooting for him. Of course, after the Khamzat fight, everything else faded to the rear. But yeah, I'm always rooting for my prediction 99% of the time. Sometimes I go against the guy I like, and if the guy I like wins and I lose the pick, so be it. But I also got to be realistic in a lot of those situations. But yeah, we had Jeff Neal winning that one for sure. Yuri versus Roundtree at 4 MMA says hi from Czech Republic. Czechia. Try to say Česko, and it will sound like our country in our language. Or Česká Republika, by the way. I'm gonna work on I'm gonna work on it. Yuri's evolution is very fast. He will show new, better Yuri again. Believe. I do. That's why he's still in the top 20 on the dude list. But at least he beat Jamal Hill. But there's some guys I don't think he's beaten. At SM Sun says, happy for you, Chris. Good analysis. You are the only one who believes in Hamza since beginning of his debut in UFC. I mean, for real, the first time I saw him, like, this guy is on a different level, okay? And maybe back then there's some doubt in your head, but then as you see him the second fight and then the third fight within 10 days of each other, and you're like, then you get through fight four, and there's like been one punch landed on him in the first four fights. I mean, no one's ever seen anything like that, nor will we probably ever. Granted, the competition was weak, but you didn't know that you don't know at the time. He's on the way up. We haven't seen it yet. So you go through four fights. Imagine you get in four fights and only one of those four guys hit you once with a jab. That's it. That's total domination on a level that we've never seen. Dana White's Contender Series on deck now. Traveler says Yakyaev is super good, actually. He's originally from Chechnya, just like Chimaev, and he's Aries FC champion. Okay. So those are good things to know. The Contender Series is so difficult to predict. Guys will say all the time, you need to do your research. Well, there's 500 UFC fights a year. There's 50 Contender Series fights a year, which is like the minor leagues. Like if you win that, there's like a 90% chance you're getting into the UFC. Not all of them, but if you KO someone in the first or second round, you're going to the UFC. And we don't know those guys as well. Like we're not watching the 50 promotions under the UFC. So, it takes time to learn these guys. And usually the Contender Series is what makes you say, oh, but those are very tough fights to predict for sure. So try to give me a little slack there. Another one weighing in, Brian T. City Ortega all day. That didn't go well. Aljamain Sterling dominated him. And I feel your pain because I say things like that all the time and I look crazy, you know? So I understand. Um, Pineda versus Dawkins. One weighed in, say great read. Kyle Dawkins looked great in that fight. Uh, Matthew Lloyd is back, and that's one that we already read, that he's not dangerous. So it's just crazy. But yeah, that's where things stand right now. We march forward. Who's next for Hamza? Big fights coming up. Pineda versus Ankalaev. So we have a lot ahead of us, and it's an exciting time to be a UFC fan. We only got more ahead as we approach the holidays.